So we're just sitting here bullshitting, aren't we?
Good
I don't even have my headset in.
Good thing PJ's here to tell us to start.
Yeah, PJ's on set today. Hey, by the way, what we're bullshitting about is the fact that I had Alabama last night.
Yes.
Parks Casino, and I was in for 20 large.
Yeah, but I'm bummed though.
I know. TC is bummed because it's her, UNC.
I had them in the finals.
Right.
I had UNC Duke in the finals,
Hey,
so I'm in real trouble.
Aleko, put up on the screen so everybody knows that that's my
your
account.
actual betting
That is
slip.
my actual account at Parks Casino.
Oh my God.
My current balance is $256. Okay.
Are you so proud?
Yeah. There it is, but I won. I said Bama.
Yep.
Why do you all doubt me?
I know.
Why do you doubt me?
All right, so what do you have coming up?
I haven't decided yet. I have the Fightins. I have the Fightins because it's opening day for Philadelphia baseball. Zach Wheeler pitching for the Fightins. A $25 wager pays $26 if Philadelphia wins outright. The over/under 7.5 runs. Bet more than just the score is what I like to say. Bet individual player performance, strikeouts, home runs, RBIs, and a heck of a lot more. And then you've got hoops. Resuming tonight, Marquette, 7-point favorite against NC State. Purdue, 5.5-point favorite against Georgia. 9:39. I love these times. 9:39 tonight. Couldn't they round it off and start at 9:40?
Couldn't they start at 6 p.m.?
Right. Couldn't they start at 4:40? Houston is a 4-point favorite with Duke. New users, join me and download the BetPark Sportsbook app now. Make a winning $10 sports bet. Get $125 in sportsbook bonus back. It's fun to have skin in the game. That's what I like to say. And if you're like me, a couple of shekels in your pocket, yeah. You got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. So bet Parks. TGIF, everybody. Time now for the Friday headlines from the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. So Chris Wallace scored the interview with Larry David that I wanted. Little sour grapes on my part, because I really would have liked to have had a sit down with Larry David. And of course, it made a lot of news. It's kind of funny for the thumbnail for our YouTube conversation. And if you've never watched us on YouTube go through the headlines of the day, you should. It's fun. Just go to my YouTube channel. So every day I have to have PJ and the crew, Randy, Aleko over at Creative Outfit, come up with the thumbnail, which is a photograph of something and a headline. I knew that I wanted the thumbnail for today because I wanted to talk about Larry David. I knew I wanted the thumbnail to be a photograph of Larry David and Donald Trump. Now the question becomes, what's the headline? Well, it had to be something Seinfeld. Right? It had to be. So what are the words that you associate with Seinfeld? TC, I ran through a number of them. Some seemed less worthy than the others. PJ, walking right in front of my camera, there must be something going on. Sponge-worthy was what I came up. Oh boy, guys, you're all distracted. Tell me what's going on so that I know if I'm wasting my breath. Could somebody tell me something? Well, do I keep rolling or not keep? Okay. So, TC, do I have your attention? Yes. Is anybody paying attention to the host of the program?
So, was it, what did you decide to put for the YouTube?
Thank you, TC. Thank you, TC.
Yes. For the thumbnail, what one line from...
Let me just reset. When I do a thumbnail, I have a photograph and then I need a headline. And I wanted to have something Seinfeld related for the headline. So my choices were Sponge-worthy.
Right.
What do you mean, right? That's all you got?
Sponge-worthy, except for that's not something that Larry David says. It's more something that Elaine says.
Shrinkage.
Another one from Jason Alexander.
Pretty.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
I'm a fancy boy. Close talker.
No, those aren't as good.
Hello, Newman.
That's a good one.
The sea was angry that day, my friends.
A little long, but boy, what a great episode.
Or what? Are you going to walk in front of the camera again, PJ?
Yes,
PJ, could you tell me? PJ, listen to me.
We're having an issue.
To me. Come here. We're doing live. I don't like to hide things. Tell me what the deal is.
There's an issue with the YouTube.
Okay, then just tell me that. I always don't like it when it's like, just tell me. We can roll with anything.
Okay.
So tell me.
There's an issue with YouTube.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's happening.
All right. So are we recording? Should we start over?
Oh, it's great. You're getting good audio. It's just the internet's a little finicky right now.
Okay. To continue or not to continue?
Continue.
Oh, yeah, definitely continue.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. The host is angry this day, my friends.
Everyone knows that.
Okay, I lost my whole train of thought. What do you have? Play some cuts.
Okay, so a couple cuts from Larry David. This was him with Chris Wallace. It hasn't aired in its entirety yet. It airs on Max today. But Chris wanted to know what he thought about the former president.
How much has the whole 2020 election and everything that has flowed from it pissed you off?
Oh,
I mean, you can't go a day without thinking about what he's done to this country, because he's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of an. I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost. And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose.
He sounds like Liberal Paul. He sounds like Liberal Paul, not only in his content, but also in his.
Anyway, it hasn't impacted me at all.
But also in his intonation, in his voice.
I thought the cadence sounded very much like that. That's funny that you said the same thing.
And it reminds me of the fact that we've had conversations here this week about, and we've had them before, about friendships and could you be friendly with somebody who, politically speaking, is totally at odds with your perspective? Or we've had the conversation about businesses. Do you patronize the hoagie guy, the window washer, the plumber, if they don't agree with your politics? And then we had a conversation just yesterday about, okay, here's Truth Social, DJT, although they took a bit of a dip yesterday, but still Trump is doing well. Could you invest in DJT if you don't like DJT because you think you can make money on Truth Social? It occurs to me that Larry David's not in the category of mingling, because I was reminded of the fact in looking at some of these stories that he had a break with Alan Dershowitz's because of Dershowitz's representation in what would it have been? Trump impeachment 1, Trump impeachment 2. I get them confused. No, Van der Veen and Brennan represented and Castor represented in impeachment number 2. But I'm reminded of this because of the coverage. David's ire for Trump and his pals, well documented. In 2021, he screamed at former Trump lawyer Alan Dershowitz while grocery shopping on Martha's Vineyard after David saw Dershowitz put his arm around Trump's former CIA director, Mike Pompeo. What went on in that grocery store?
So I evidently, one of them, Larry David says to Dershowitz, like, I don't ever want to see you again or something like that. And Dershowitz confirmed that there was indeed an altercation and said, I used to have Larry David over to my house a couple times a summer, a couple times a season.
They played poker together.
Who knows what went on?
They played poker together.
Yeah, he said that Larry David called me disgusting and said he would never talk to me. Here's a guy who used to come to our house to work out in the gym. He would come to our house for dinner 2 or 3 times a summer.
So here's a split screen. New York Post front page today. You had 4 presidents, the president and 3 former presidents, including Trump, all in New York yesterday. 3 for the fundraiser, Obama, Biden, Clinton, and then former President Donald Trump attending a wake for an NYPD officer killed in the line of duty. That Biden fundraiser with Obama and Clinton, we talked about it yesterday. 6 interruptions from pro-Palestinian protesters. The haul said to be $25 million or more. Trump is now trying to respond in kind with an event that he's going to do at Mar-a-Lago. Of the roughly 45-minute discussion that they had that Stephen Colbert moderated, the president spent 10 minutes on Gaza. Colbert asked the trio questions ranging from democracy, foreign policy, and what keeps them up at night, while making the case of why Biden is a better choice for president than former President Donald Trump. They had 5,000 people in attendance. Joe Biden's line of the night last night, he was talking about Donald Trump, and he said, this guy denies there's global warming. This guy wants to get rid not only of Roe versus Wade, which he brags about having done, he wants to get rid of the ability of anyone anywhere in America to have the right to choose. Wait for it now. And I don't have audio because only as I'm coming on air are they releasing video and audio of the event last night. All the things he's doing, says Biden about Trump, are so old, a little old and out of shape, to which there were laughs. There were guffaws. at Radio City last night.
And there are protesters, and it was evidently like a little crazy at points, inside and out. But it got a lot of attention and made a lot of money.
A lot of dough. I'd never heard of Ed Gamble. Now I'm interested in seeing his comedy routine. Explain.
This is probably the best thing to ever happen to Ed Gamble. Also, I have never heard of him, but he's a comedian who is in the UK doing a tour called the Hot Diggity Dog Tour. So he had posters of the Hot Diggity Dog Tour of him eating a hot dog. And evidently in the UK, there are laws against advertising food that is not good for you. So instead of a hot dog on his Hot Diggity Dog Tour posters, he has to have a cucumber. So he put, when I first saw this headline, I thought it was some kind of phallic sexual reference, and there was something like a cucumber, a hot dog. I wasn't sure what was going on. But no, it is literally that he ran afoul of the health laws in the UK. And so he has a cucumber instead of a hot dog. And it is now getting huge attention. And we are talking about Ed Gamble, and we wouldn't have been talking about Ed Gamble. So I think all good for him.
I didn't know of that ban, or if I had known, I'd forgotten about it. But to TC's point, this ban on junk food advertising across London's public transport network. This is a poll question of whether we should do likewise. It came into effect in 2019. The regulations forbid posters for food and drink high in fat, salt, and sugar on the underground or the overground, as well as buses and bus shelters. It's kind of like cigarette advertising in the United States.
Isn't that something? And so he might change that to Q Diggity Cucumber instead of Hot Diggity Dog.
London Mayor Sadiq Khan said the rules would help tackle child obesity rates in the capital. The organization uses a model developed by the Food Standards Agency to define foods that are high in fat, sugar, and salt. More headlines from the Friday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. Poll results from yesterday. 24,150. Would politics factor into your personal investment decisions? As I mentioned, DJT continues to do well, but not as well as it had been doing. Yesterday, it was down $4.26 per share to $61.96. The number that I'm now keeping in mind, and I think this is day 4, is that Eric, the intern, has explained to me that Trump needs the stock to maintain a value of $17.50 or higher for 20 days. I don't know if the 20 days takes into account weekends, but roll with me here. And if it stays at that level, then he gets a boatload more shares, and his net worth volume will then just
So where are we now?
So we're day 4. So
Okay.
we're day 4,
But
and
we're
he's
day
like
4 above
well
17?
above.
Well above.
Well above.
Well above.
Yeah, 61.96 is where it closed yesterday.
Oh.
So, in the midst of all of this tumult,
Don't forget
the fact that we're 2 weeks from Monday, I guess, away from the start jury selection of his campaign, he's just on paper lining his pocket.
It's incredible. We're sitting here and Mega Millions made records this week because someone in New Jersey won $1.2 billion. Powerball on Saturday night is close to that.
Right.
And that's talking about like $1 billion.
Right.
And here we have Trump who's
Right.
about to make
Multiple.
Mega Million. Right.
Multiple.
Astonishing.
And then if he can change he puts in his people in the board, and if he can change the rules, then maybe he gets to get out before 6 months. But what happens to all those who have invested? It's just, again, stuff you could not make up. Today's poll question: which side benefits politically from the Ronna McDaniel NBC flap? Republicans, who are getting great mileage out of this. Democrats, I guess the argument being, well, NBC, MSNBC, they wouldn't let her come back on the air. That pleased their base. There's advantage for them. Or neither. Go vote on the poll question of the day. TC, I am contemplating, as you know, delivering a commentary of my own tomorrow on Ronna McDaniel.
I think you should. As I said to you yesterday when we were talking about it on air, and you said, I don't know, everybody's already commented on it. Everyone's already had a piece of it. And my comment to you, and I really believe this, is that sometimes there are really big news stories that happen during the week. You happen to have a weekend show. What are you going to do about it? So whether or not you comment on it, it's not that you didn't have something to say about it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday's your day. And you always have a different angle and a different approach. So what are you thinking about? Do you want to preview it? Are you gonna?
Well,
What's happening over there?
so
should I gird my loins for social media?
Here's just a draft of a part of it. Where I explain, same as I've said here on POTUS all week long, I'm not advocating for her personally. I am advocating for including all sides in the conversation. And it caused me to go back and think about some of the controversial names who have been on my CNN program. Forget POTUS, where we welcome all comers every day and callers, but just some of the disparate voices. And this is a partial list. But Matt Gaetz, the very week that he fought Kevin McCarthy becoming the House Speaker, RFK, Vivek Ramaswamy, hosted them for town halls.
Wait, are you going to remind people of all these guests?
Not only do I want to remind them verbally, I want to put pictures up.
Oh, great!
Do you know the?
Wonderful. Let's drive it home.
Do you know the Clairol? This could be my resignation commentary. Do you know the Clairol commercial? And they told two people, and they told two people. Okay, I'm glad you know it because that's what I'm trying to explain to the rest of the CNN team. I want to show pictures like that.
Oh yeah,
and expand.
And have expand it. Like go out.
Okay, so here are the names: Matt Gaetz.
Yes.
RFK Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy.
It's like that wacky mirror where it doubles everyone.
John Eastman.
Yes. Oh,
Doctors Scott Atlas and Jay Bhattacharya.
Oh, the hate I got.
The Shaman.
Oh, no. Well,
Sean Spicer.
Come on. The Shaman was crazy all over the place.
Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie Lake.
Oh, great.
They've all been my guests. And then I'm going to say this, and countless others who you also might not agree with would have been here if they had accepted my invitation.
Truth.
But many don't. And do you know why they turn me down? Because they do a calculus as to how many primary voters will be watching a particular network. And if they are a Republican, they think their time is better spent on Fox. It's a vicious cycle. More would accept an invitation like mine. If more would, then their base audience might feel more welcome tuning in here. Wait for this part. And then I say, look, I've said since my first show here 10 years ago, this tribalism among elected officials and polarization in the media has killed civility and made compromise the new C word. And you know what else? It's boring.
Okay, yikes. Really? Are you really
That's my draft.
Oh, geez. Okay.
That's my draft.
All right. Well, you know what? I will tune in tomorrow and see if that particular line makes the cut. We'll see what happens.
There's a lot more, ladies and gentlemen, that is posted in the newsletter today. And right now you can find it at Smerconish.com on the website. Let me just say this as it is the end of the week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you give TC some play relative to TC After Dark.
Yeah, so I did, you know when you Google something and it autofills or auto-completes?
Yeah.
So, right. So
Is Michael Smerconish gay?
Correct. Is Michael Smerconish Jewish?
Is Michael Smerconish Jewish?
Answer.
Right. Yes and yes.
Exactly.
A little bit of
both. Correct.
That's
That's the answer.
A little bit of both.
But I did something the other day, like, what happens if you, I literally cannot even remember what I was doing. And the autofills were so hysterical that I took a screenshot, which you can now see in my social media, and did a whole episode on those 10 questions because I all of a sudden needed to know, what happens if you swallow gum, Michael?
Wait a minute.
What happens?
Was one of them a vacuum cleaner?
Is that what comes up on yours, Michael? Because that would be very, very... What? You have the most insane sense of humor. What? And why do I always get it? What is wrong with you? Oh, my God.
All right. Are we finished promoting you? Can we promote me very quickly? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now she gives me the bums rush. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Long Island. Sellersville, the Mingle Project comes to the... Hey, I can't believe this. It's like a week away. The Sellersville Theater on Sunday, April 7, and then Monday, June 17, Long Island. So 2 locations where you can come and listen to me make my pitch about how we've got to mingle. And you know what else? If you join me at either of those events or the others that are taking place in the months ahead, you will be mingling. Like, has it occurred to you by coming together in a couple of 100-seat theater with yours truly and other listeners, you'll be doing what I say you need to be doing more of? See ya.